Hey, how's it going everyone? What is up? And welcome to my Metal Gear Solid 5 spoiler talk video. I said I was going to do this. Not many people probably going to watch this, but I still want to do it. And if you are watching this, you get some early news. So I've been working on stuff over the past 5 days, mainly thinking about video topics. Yeah, that's what I get clear, is working on stuff. And I have came up with 4 new videos that are going to come out over the next 4 days, counting today in this video. So the next video will be a Mad Max review, the game, and then the video after that, the Flash Season 1 review, and then the video after that, Arrow Season 3 review. Just to get us pumped up and ready for Arrow Season 4 and the Flash Season 2. Seeing how as we're getting all these new like promotional pictures and trailers for the Flash and Arrow because they're so close. So yeah, and Mad Max just because I wanted to make a review for it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this video. So Metal Gear Solid 5's ending and everything in Chapter 2 pretty much. Well, and in, you know, Chapter 1 of course. So the story, it's pretty much like Metal Gear Solid 4. They have like this pretty shitty excuse for everything that's happening. In Metal Gear Solid 4, it was nanomachines. Like, nanomachines this. The nanomachines inside of them cause this to be this. Like, Vamp in Metal Gear Solid 4. He's not a real vampire. It's the nanomachines. You know, Snake's, bullshit that's going on with him. It's how the nanomachines and being a clone's affected him. I believe that's that. And in this game, it's like, all of this bad shit is happening. And Skullface has all this leverage on everyone because throat virus, you know, because parasite. And it was a little frustrating, like, how everything was tied into, like, this one little thing. It wasn't, like, multiple things. It was, like, every villain you go up against in the game is pretty much fucking Parasite caused that. And even Quiet. She's quiet because of that parasite treatment on her once like after the beginning of the game where the real Snake, real Snake, you're not even playing a Snake in this game, well, the real big boss rather, sets her on fire and pushes her out the window basically. So yeah, that was really really fucking frustrating that everything in Chapter 1 and even a little bit in Chapter 2 was tied to vocal parasites, and it just seemed like a fallback. Like, we've seen it before with Metal Gear Solid 4. And that was the only thing that bothered me about it, and I think that's another reason why people don't like this story as much as previous Metal Gear Solids. Along with Skullface in Chapter 1, who was a one-beat villain. Like, he was probably the worst villain in recent memory that I've went up against. A lot of people would argue, Jason Todd, Arkham Knight wasn't that good. No, Skullface is comical in how cliche of a villain he is. With his backstory and everything else, with him being from a small village, something dramatic happened to him with his face, and now he rises in the ranks of a military, and then completely betrays them, with a big plan to wipe out that set of people. I mean, isn't that like every James Bond villain movie villain ever? But I mean, his death was pretty cool, I guess. You know, that had it going, I guess. But besides that, Chapter 1 really fell short of a Metal Gear Solid game. Like, I've only beaten Metal Gear Solid 1, but I've watched reviews, I've read pretty much everything on the story. I'm just playing on it at this point to play them. I pretty much know everything that happens in all 5 games, technically, because there's Metal Gear 1, 2, well, 7 games? There's Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. So I pretty much know everything that happens in those games. It just didn't stack up to those games, like all the stories in those games. Even Metal Gear Solid 2, which I like the least because of the giant fucking bait and switch of going from playing Snake to playing Raiden. That just but I still like all the other stories compared to this. Not saying this story is a bad story. This is still better than most single-player stories that have come out to date. It's just not on par with a Metal Gear Solid story, you know what I'm saying? It's not as good as Kojima has written in the past. And even the big twist in the game, in my review I said it didn't have a big twist because I didn't know that Chapter 2 actually had relevant shit to the story. I thought Chapter 1, Episode 31, was going to have the ending to the game, and Chapter 2 was just a bunch of little fun things that you can go and get. No, in Chapter 2, once you replay a bunch of missions, and you get, to be fair, like 6 new missions, you get the big twist. The big fucking bomb that I originally did not like dropped in your lap. And that is that you're not playing as Big Boss in this game. You're playing as the medic from Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes that took the bombs out of Paz. In the helicopter, he's that medic. He jumps in front of Big Boss. That's why he has shrapnel on his head, and that's why he lost an arm, and that's why in Metal Gear 2, and 1, I guess you could say, because there is a retcon from there. He wasn't missing, like, Big Boss wasn't missing any limbs, didn't have, metal in his head. That's explained that, basically, but it really, 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 really frustrated me at first. It's like, you put all this effort into the game, you think you're playing as the character from Metal Gear Solid 3, which everyone loved. Like, Metal Gear Solid 3 is, like, everyone's favorite Metal Gear Solid, from like every review, every person that I know that plays the game and talked about it. Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best to them. And from the story of Metal Gear Solid 3 and just how the gameplay looks similar to this one, because this does have the best gameplay in all of the Metal Gear Solids. I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best. I'm yet to play them. But I'm getting there. I'm on Metal Gear Solid 2 right now. Just got past the tanker incident. And so I'll get there. But, yeah, you're playing as the medic. Once you both were in a coma, until you wake up from the coma, Big Boss, the real one, is looking over you, and he's the guy in the mask, like the bandages at the beginning of the game, Ishmael, that helps you escape the hospital. The reason it looks like he gets shot, and I didn't understand this, it looks like the fucking helicopter shoots him and he's fucking dead. But no, Ocelot drags him out. He goes into hiding, building up Zanzibar land for that uprising. While you're left to build up what is, Outer Heaven. Basically, Big Boss did not build Outer Heaven. The medic from Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes that took the bombs out of Paz built Outer Heaven. And that's what frustrated me so much. It's like, you're working this hard for nothing, basically. And then, that, before, I knew how it tied in. I was just like, you're working so hard to build this up, and you're trying to get it perfect, because it's such an iconic place from the Metal Gear Solid games. You're working so hard, and then you realize it's all for nothing, because you're not Big Boss. See, I was really, really pissed off. Like, I paused the cutscene, walked out of my room, and said, fuck that. I was very upset. And then, like, you get these cool after-credit scenes, like, after the cutscenes, after you get the recording from Big Boss saying, thanks to you, I cheated death. I can't do a Kiefer Sutherland voice. I might be able to do a David Hager voice, but I'm not gonna fucking try, because I'm not gonna embarrass myself. But he basically says, we are Big Boss. Big Boss is us. And I thought that was pretty fucking cool. He's like saying, you are Big Boss, not just me. You are too. We made Big Boss, or we are Big Boss, whatever. It was like, alright, I could see that, Big Boss says he's Big Boss, and he's fucking Big Boss, I guess. So, and then you get these cool after-credit scenes that shows how everything ties in. The Big Boss that you kill in Metal Gear 1 as Solid Snake is actually the Phantom. And in Metal Gear 2, that's why Big Boss seems to show up out of nowhere. Like, just like nothing ever happened. He just shows up out of nowhere. And you actually kill Big Boss in that game, but of course he gets resurrected and brought back by the Patriots. Who is Cypher, that I learned. Cypher in this game turned into the Patriots, which I thought was pretty interesting and cool how they tie all that in. And I just thought it was cool how it all tied in, but the question that it raised in my mind is, dude, you said this guy was a big boss, and then you pretty much coach your clone into fucking killing him. Why would you do that? And I think Jeremy Jahns really put that the best. Like, maybe he became a dick, you know? Maybe he became an asshole. And Big Boss, the real one, said, he doesn't stand for what we stand for anymore. Let's take his ass out before he does something drastic, like the other guys that we've taken down. And Jeremy Jahns is one of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube, I guess. And, you know, his Metal Gear Solid reviews are pretty good. Better than mine. Check those out. And he put something really good, like, he explained something really well in his spoiler discussion video. He said, like, what if Big Boss's story is just like the boss's story? It was all turned to make her look like she, you know, went to the Soviets and abandoned America. What if that's, and the government made her look like an asshole and the bad guy? What if they done that with Big Boss? Because Cypher and the Patriots had so much power over America, they could dictate the views on everything. So what if Big Boss is actually a good guy? And I was just thinking about that, and I was like, well, fuck. I mean, of course, like, in Metal Gear Solid, that's the good thing about Metal Gear Solid. Like, once you think about what they're doing, and they explain their villainous plan, it's not so villainous. It's like, that could work. That makes sense for, you know, everything that's going on. That makes sense. I'm probably an asshole for agreeing with it in some ways. But you can see that those people are not completely villainous. Like, they have a reason for what they're doing. And the reason is not just, meh, give me $1 million. Meh, you know, $1 billion. It's not bullshit like that. It's actual reasons for actual problems. Well, it's debatable with Metal Gear Solid 1 because they asked for $1 billion. I guess the $1 billion was going in to, like, cure a disease that was wrong with the people. But still, I guess $1 million. What the fuck is going outside my house? Sorry, I just saw something running. Distractions. So yeah, it was really annoying, like, when you first find out that you're Big Boss and, oh, you're not Big Boss, and it got less annoying, and I hated it less, and even came to like it once I found out how it all tied in. But I see some people still fucking despise that ending. Like, they despise everything about it, and I can see the reasons for it. You know, I'm like, alright, I can understand. I'm not gonna totally, you know, be like, you're a fucking idiot for disliking it, because they do have good reasons to dislike it, and valid reasons to dislike it. I don't dislike it, because I like how it ties in and explains a lot of things that were not explained in the original Metal Gear games, and hell, even in Metal Gear Solid games. So that was nice. But yeah, guys, that was the ending, and a lot of the spoilers in Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I don't know why I said it like a robot, but I fucking did. I'm still talking like that. The only thing I didn't talk about is Quiet, that's because I didn't like her ending too much. She's just like, oh, I spoke. Now I gotta leave. Bye. I don't understand. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about Metal Gear Solid 5's ending in the comments below, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.